Hey guys, this is Josh Nelson with Nelson Elder Care Law. Thank you for joining me again today for another episode of Live with the Lawyer. Today we're going to be covering the topic of how often do you need to update your will or your estate plan. There's so much misinformation out there on this that I think it's going to be really helpful for you. Again, take out your pen and pad, make sure you take some notes. If you want to send any questions to us, you're more than welcome to message us directly. Otherwise, we do offer a free sit down with a member of our legal team. Just give us a call, 678-250-9355, and we'll get you scheduled for that. Again, I'm Josh Nelson from Nelson Elder Care Law, where we help you protect you and your loved ones from the curveballs of life. A lot of times what happens with people is they get a plan, they feel really confident in the plan whenever they first get it, and then life changes so that whenever something happens to them, their plan no longer works. And that's why most people will recommend updating your plan every so often. It's not really a concrete time period. It's not every year. It's not every 3 years. It really depends on what stage of life you're in. If you're in your 30s, probably every year or 3 years really is a good idea because your kids are growing, your kids are maturing. You might want a different guardian if something happened to you and your spouse. Your wealth level might be increasing or decreasing. You might be starting a new job or a new business or moving. And then it's good to have those updates done. As you get older, really above 55, you're starting to think about retirement. It's good to get one solid plan there that probably lasts until you actually retire. And then it's good to look it over again once you are in retirement. And of course, if you do get some curveballs in between these time frames, it's good to talk them out. It could be buying a beach condo, buying some land in a different state. Maybe it's even something as simple as changing your bank accounts. Remember that even whenever you change financial institutions, that's part of your plan to make sure you avoid probate. So things like making sure your beneficiaries are updated if you change jobs, or you get a different 401k, or you do a rollover. Anything that has to do with your money, your assets, your health, or your family could be things that trigger a phone call. Maybe an in-person visit to sit down and talk, depending on how big they are. Often, we find that it's best just to make sure that our clients are educated about what these things are, to make sure that whenever they arise, we have a talk about them, rather than say every year or every 3 years we're going to sit down. And that's just because different people are kind of on a set path. A power of attorney doesn't necessarily expire. A will doesn't expire. There are things that once they start to get 2 or 3 years old, like a power of attorney, banks will be a little bit more hesitant to use them. And if you give us a call, we'll update things for you, make sure it's a smooth process. But one of the ways to get around that, even from the get-go, is making sure things like your power of attorney are registered with your financial institutions. Making sure that your beneficiaries are set up so that you don't have to frantically run around if you get a diagnosis bad for health. Whenever you come work with Nelson Elder Care Law, one of the things that we strive for is making a plan that works your whole life, that doesn't require a lot of maintenance. We're not oblivious to the fact that most people's estate plan gets done, put in a binder, and put on a shelf. And as long as the plan's good and as long as the plan works, that's fine. But you also want to make sure you have a practical plan. One of the things we do for our clients is make sure that their agents, like their power of attorney, their kids, have PDF copies of things so that they do get rushed to the emergency room. They're not looking around for a binder that could be in the safety deposit box or a gun safe or just inaccessible. We don't expect for you to go around with this big old binder in your glove box. And so having a card that our clients get called a directives card that allows for anybody with a medical license to be able to pull up allergies, health issues, as well as the healthcare directive, the living will, and a couple other pieces of their estate plan is super helpful. If you have some questions about reviewing your estate plan, maybe it's been a few years, maybe it's been a lot of years, and you want to get sure that it's up with the current tax code, making sure that it's legal and it's effective, give us a call. We're happy to look through it with you. Again, 678-250-9355. I'm Josh Nelson with Nelson Elder Care.